clarity on how is that process go? If it's not Joe Blow, hey, I have an app for you. If he can just go on PlayStation or Playbook and download it himself, how is it being tracked? Or is that something you can't talk about yet?
No, we can. We have you know how when you bring in affiliates into the system, we end up using an affiliate link that identifies the sponsor, so that when an affiliate drops in and they do a registration, we have their relationship between the sponsor and the actual affiliate. Now, in this case, we have a showcase site that will be the main place for the downloads. Okay, so we have, once we send somebody to Google Play with the code that comes from the showcase site, that will track who came and from where they came. So the idea would be we have this capture page that is simply just like any other showcase site for an app. And that page is actually, you can view that in the back office right now. Go to the SpinDing back office and take a look at the retail products. You'll be able to see this showcase page that we're promoting. Now that will be promoted by all of our affiliates, and the Facebook links that float around, or if there's a link on a blog or in an email, all those links will pop back to that, and the sponsor coded information will be in those links, and we'll know who got where, when they dropped into that page. And when they go to Google Play, we're sending them with a special link and a code. When they go there and they actually do the download, we'll know who and how it was generated. Okay, so we track that all back into the database, and we'll have the sponsor relationship built in. That'll travel with them on the phone as well. So it's going to be built into the app, and we'll actually have, as they download it, the sponsor will be sort of embedded in that phone, so that any future activity takes place goes through the sponsor's commission plan.
That's pretty tight.
Yeah, it's new technology. That's something that's really sweet, something that we have. I don't think anybody else has something like that, but it's something we're finishing up on now, and it'll work on the iTunes Store, the App Store, and also on Google Play. And somebody reached out about Windows phones as well over the last few days, and we're going to try to address those as well. But we're going to do the Androids and the Apples soon. First. Then we'll try to get to the Windows stuff and maybe even BlackBerry stuff if they're still around later.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Jacob. Go ahead, Scott. Go ahead, Scott.
Yes, well, actually, I'm on Scott's phone. This is Sally. A couple of questions, please. This is the first time that I've been on one of the calls. And I wanted to know, what is the exact launch date?
Hey, Sally. I don't have an exact launch date yet because we have a bunch of moving parts that we're still trying to nail down. And we have a countdown timer on our main page where people sign up right now that points to the 15th of February. So we're getting close to that date. I said earlier that I'm really hoping that we can do it earlier because the excitement that seems to have been generated over the past few weeks. I think if we wait too long, it'll sort of just be, it'll wane a little bit because, people need to start earning money and they want to have something at the first of the year that they can plan on, start to bank on. If we're not lit by a certain period of time, they're going to need to make some other decisions. So we're trying our best to have this thing lit by the end of the month. I know there's about a week left for that. And I do know that there's still a few things that are open on our side that have not been nailed down yet that we need to get fixed and finished on. So I wish I could give you an exact date. I just don't have it right now. But we are going to try to make it before the 15th of Feb. And hopefully as close to the 1st as possible.
Okay, thank you. And I also wanted to know, does this only work on Android phones? What if people don't have Android phones? I mean, it won't work on their desktop or laptops. It is
no, it's going to be a phone app, and it will work on iPhones, Apple iPhones. And I just mentioned that it will also, at some point, it will work on Windows phones as well, Windows platform for phones, which aren't as prevalent as the other two right now. Pretty much iPhones and Androids have like 95% of the market, so we should be in pretty good shape getting a good platform out there for merchants with this. But we do want to address the people that have Windows phones as well, and we'll be tackling that as soon as we get the other ones going.
Okay, and one last question. In the back office where it says earning potential, what exactly is that? What is it? I mean, how is that based? I don't know.
Yeah, I'll try to address that. And there's a lot of folks that I think really don't understand what we try to illustrate with those potentials. That's just a function of, with all the people that have come into the system, if they purchased everything that we had and moved forward full boat and came in all at once, those were the kind of numbers that would be generated by the activity that we're seeing currently. So, and as I mentioned when I first started the call, I think obviously the numbers are inflated simply because we have, those calculations have been generated with an assumption that everybody's buying all the packages, right? And I think our average purchase is going to be a lot less than $1,890 in these packages, right? So maybe it's closer to $200. So the numbers that we're looking at there are massive. They're very exciting. They're clearly one of the reasons why this thing's grown so quickly and has reached such a following, internationally. But I would say the truth is we're going to end up with an average of much closer to $200, I think, when the smoke clears, which is in terms of a purchase, it's a reasonable number. It will generate huge numbers in its own right. The potentials that we put there were really just to illustrate the power of the system with the straight line cycling and so on. And so it was really a great thing to do. But I think the truth is we have to make sure everybody understands that the averages instead of $1,890 are probably going to be more like $200. There's a lot of people that come in. They will come in for $1,890. They either want to be a founder or they just want to be in and participate on all levels. And even if the average is 200, they'll still make $1,890 back in a few days, 3, 4, 10 days, or whatever it is. So still a fantastic level of income that's possible by all of this. And so the potential is what it basically is if everybody came in and bought everything. That's really
okay. And one last question: is it going to be 200 on launch day? The program? Is that what
you mean? You mean the entry points?
Yeah.
Yeah. The entry points starts at $30 and it goes up to $2,000 or $1,890 technically. So you can start at $30, and we're going to have in the system we're going to have an auto upgrade feature, so that if in the event we end up with income sufficient to get into the next level, we can automatically put you there, or you can uncheck the box and just take the income as it comes. The bottom line is there's ways to get into the upper levels pretty easily, and I think pretty quickly. Depending on how fast you want to come in, but you can come in at $30 and upgrade, or you can come in at $210 and also upgrade, or just take out the cash. It's obviously your choice.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure.
All right, thank you very much. So let's go here. For those of you out there that have a question, If you just press *6 on your phone, and we'll go ahead and we'll put you in the queue. Next question is last four numbers of your phone is 3507. Go ahead. Oh, I lost you.
Good evening. This is Joshua Drake calling in from Florida. Can you hear me?
Yeah, got you.
We have you, Joshua.
Good evening. I just had a couple questions, if I may. First, I'd like to congratulate you on making a phenomenal compensation plan. It's the fairest I've seen in over a couple decades. So my hat's off to you.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's exactly what we wanted to do. It's exactly what we want. Exactly.
It's well done. I'm very impressed. So my questions. One is, how are you enabling the members to pay? What payment options are going to be available?
Good question. We're working on the integration with a company called iPayout. Are you familiar with it?
I am. Good.
Yeah. We're gonna use, for the affiliate side, we're gonna use iPayout almost exclusively. What we're gonna do is save our merchant accounts for the retailer side of the business. And so on the affiliate side, iPayout has a number of ways to fund a wallet, which can then be used to pay for product and to also get commissions on the backside. So we're going to be using iPayout for that. We've received a bunch of requests for STP and some EgoPay stuff and others. I've also gotten some very pointed advice from a number of parties that would basically has told me to be careful about wasting time going with some of these other companies simply because there may be some hiccups in the future. And I've done business with those guys in the past, and they've always been great to me. And I don't have any hesitation for any politics reasons or relationship reasons or anything like that. It's just that we're in the good business of moving money around, and we need to make sure there's no hiccups, no delays to pay out commissions and that kind of stuff. So right now, I just want to take the safest, most conservative option and make sure that we have a platform that is so far trusted universally, almost globally, and has done a lot of great job. And, so I think if we're in with that, everybody will have all the options they need to both get paid and pay in. So that's what we're going to do in stage one. Maybe we'll do the other stuff shortly after.
That answers my second question simultaneously, which was, how do we get paid? If you don't mind, I'd like to add a little something to the last question, of what the numbers in the back office represent and folks upgrading. From what I can see, even if folks were to start at the $30 level, the profit margins are worked out in such a way where it's very easy to upgrade. So if folks do come in at the 30, in no time they will be upgraded. So those, in my opinion, those numbers are accurate. And because eventually people will be upgrading considering the profit margins associated with each level. So
that's the thought, Joshua. We thought that, and I've done a number of scenarios whereby a $30 participant could easily get to the upper level within like a 15-day period, right? So they pay in, and depending, this all depends, of course, on the growth of the company. There's no guarantees. We all know that companies come and go, and we certainly don't want to be on the go side, but there's really no guarantees. But I think if we take a look at the sheer numbers, you can max out these cycles, daily cycles, with only 40 people joining a day. And I think that's a pretty low hoop to jump through. If you cycle once and you need 4 people that pop into the system to cycle, and you're going to cycle 10 a day, that means you need 4 times 10. That's 40 people total, the whole company to come in. So I do think, at least I believe, that will be able to meet those sort of base level criteria to be able to max out most people's cycles, especially in the lower tiers, every day, for the foreseeable future, and get those people upgraded as they go, over a period of a very short period of time.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to confirm, and forgive me if this is redundant, these cycles are completely company fed, for each individual member. The entire company, the entire organization cycles each member. It's not necessarily individual, results, but actually company fed. That's correct, yes.
Well, I guess if I understand your question, over a period of time, there's a lot of guys in the queue waiting to cycle. So hypothetically, over the course of a great deal of time, you could in fact have the entire company waiting to cycle and getting paid, on a $30 line. You get paid $1 for one more person coming in, roughly, just one more person. It doesn't quite work that way. After doing, dozens of dry runs on the compensation plan, just the sheer, how should I put this, the sheer randomness of how people come in, when they come in, who they're connected to, who's qualified, who's not. There's always people that aren't quite qualified yet, and so there's some people that aren't quite getting paid yet. They're waiting to cycle. There's others that they're sitting around waiting because they did 10 yesterday, and there's been 4,500 other people that came in after that. They've only done their 10. So there's a lot of scenarios that would cause your statement to sort of not be true. Hypothetically, it's true. The whole company could be in the queue waiting, but it really doesn't, practically get there. So one of the issues, I wanted to make sure that we would be safe, down the road too, is, this kind of a compensation plan breaks down very quickly if we have one payment coming into the system, then everybody expects to get paid a commission or a bonus on everyone else down the road. One payment into a system like that, and then you get paid in perpetuity. The company's going to break down. The compensation plan won't have enough money to pay all that out because it's clearly it's not doable. It's a sort of a geometric progression as people come into the system. You got to keep paying out, so on and so forth. It breaks down. Bottom line is, the fact that we turned these products into subscriptions and allowed people to pay monthly for services rendered as opposed to get a tangible product like a vitamin or something I send in UPS to you, is a service, right? So every time there's a monthly payment, the whole line sort of resets itself, and then people sort of jumble around, and the new payment that comes in, people drop down to the bottom again, and suddenly the whole line is sort of jumbled and rearranged, and somehow you're starting from scratch again. When the new payments start to roll in on the auto ship. Okay. So, you never really reach a point where the whole company's waiting to cycle because you've reset the line every month and you start from scratch and sort of the whole ball of wax starts all over again. So again, really interesting compensation plan. This thing has sort of been, a long time coming. We spent a lot of time on it. Ran a million different kinds. Well, I shouldn't say million. We ran dozens and dozens of different hypotheticals to make sure we were going to be able to run this thing long term. And it really, it's a fantastic way of doing it. It'll run forever.
Yeah, I'm very impressed. Regarding the qualifications, no matter which level you are at, you only need 2. For example, if you're at the highest level and you bring in 2 at the lowest level, that's all you ever need. You don't need 2 at any other level as well.
Actually, that's not true. The way we need this to work is that for each line that you're on, we need 2 to follow you in. Gotcha. So in other words, if let's say you bought in at the highest level, you'd be on all 6 lines, but you only ended up with somebody coming in behind you on the 30, and somebody came in behind you on the 60. So on the 90, you don't have anybody. I'm sorry, I should say on 120, you don't have anybody yet. And so can't cycle until that happens. And that's sort of like the special sauce that makes it work. We need everybody to get to follow them into each line. And that works. And that's sort of like what I was just describing. That's the mechanism that makes it all work.
So at each level, you need 2 directs.
At each level, you need 2, yeah. So, I mean, if for example, somebody's coming in at 1890 and they have 2 that come in behind them at 1890, then they're done. Because they have somebody on all of them, right? They have somebody on all levels. And if not, you'll have to wait, as we had spoken about just previously, for them to upgrade their way through into the other higher levels, and then they follow you again. So it's okay at some point. They're all going to get to where you want them to be, over a period of time. And as I mentioned, some of them, even coming in at the lowest level, can get there in like 15 odd days.
Mm-hmm.
Again, not a huge concern, I don't think.
Yeah. Well, that's very useful information. Thank you for clearing that up.